Shut up, James. We're starting now. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Limited Night Podcast. Today, I'm your host, Adam. With me is James.
Hello.
Becky.
Hi.
And Marta.
Sup.
Alright, so hopefully you guys have some interesting topics planned for today, because I got thrown into host last minute. So who wants to start us off?
Spiderman. Come on, guys.
Spiderman? Yes, okay.
Let's go Spiderman. The new Spiderman. No,
I've
you're
seen
shitty
it.
Spider-Man.
Who's seen it?
I have not seen it yet. I'm so jelly.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
Wow.
No, I personally don't care about spoilers, no.
What about you, Becky?
I want to see it. I haven't gotten to yet.
Well, we could do spoiler-free Spider-Man talk.
All my notes are spoilery.
Well, I've just written the ending down, that's it.
How would that work exactly?
Well, the only things that were wrong with this movie were, like, spoiler-related, so... You know. It's just a beautiful movie.
To a flying start here.
I guess we can do spoiler-free. I'll try my best. I have a few things here.
Okay.
Okay.
Go for it.
So, first off, 10 out of 10 Ferris Bueller nods. Fucking fantastic. I was so happy in the summer seeing that.
I agree.
And I am so incredibly happy that Spider-Man is actually written like a 15-year-old guy, like a 15-year-old kid.
That too.
Well, he's Spider-Man and he's Peter Parker. It's just so well written, and it makes me so happy. And the casting was perfect, obviously.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, join in. I can't do this on my own. Come on.
I was gonna make a note that he is far better than Andrew Garfield and is better than Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3. So that's what I have to say about that, about Spider-Man.
Let me ask you a question, right?
It's not hard to be better than Tobey Maguire, just pointing that out.
Well, no, in Spider-Man 3 specifically.
Especially in Spider-Man 3, yeah.
But I mean, the first two, I'll be honest, I thought were still better.
The first two were okay.
I feel like Tobey Maguire is a very different Spider-Man.
Right, that's fine. He's a different Spider-Man. I feel like...
And I cannot handle Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man anymore. Mostly because I'm biased because of Free.
Well, listen, you can be wrong, okay? I don't have to stop you from being wrong, but...
Excuse me.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
That is true. Well, here's the thing, is that they are two different Spider-Mans, and Sam Raimi, which is one of my favorite directors, he did Spider-Man... Who's calling? Whose phone is this?
Sam Raimi! He's like,
Sam Raimi, he's like, thank you. Thank you. So...
we have our first caller to the podcast. Hello.
It's a very different Spider-Man, but I'm okay with that because I think he changed enough to the point where I'm okay with changes that he made, that it's not comic book Spider-Man, but that's okay because it doesn't have to be, because this is not
Tobey
comic
Maguire's, he's dated. Like, that's the problem. Like, those Spider-Man movies did not age well whatsoever. Neither did his acting. Mostly because it's not Tobey Maguire's fault. It's the fault of the producers butting in when they shouldn't have.
Well, yeah, for Spider-Man 3.
For all of them.
Okay, give me an example of the producers butting in the first two Spider-Man movies.
Honestly, I haven't seen them in so long. I'm going to Google the plot. Give me a second.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I cannot remember. It's been so long since I watched them. I have them on DVD, though.
How can you not like Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin?
Oh, he was a great Green Goblin.
He's so much better than whatever
Willem
stupid
Dafoe in general is good in, like, everything.
Right, and he was a way better Green Goblin than whoever the dude from Chronicle was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, that Green Goblin, that was terrible.
I mean, Willem Dafoe makes a good Green Goblin because he's just fucking terrifying.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
It's perfect.
Exactly, yeah.
And then, even though you don't like Spider-Man 3, come on, how can you not like Franco Goblin? You know, Bro Goblin riding around on a snowboard in the air.
Do you know why Willem Dafoe was such
Franco.
a good Goblin?
Why was he such a good Goblin, James?
It's facial expressions.
Exactly.
Like, when he's doing the bit where he's talking in the mirror to himself when he's slowly going insane, it's so cool. Like, it's such well acted. He's so good at that stuff.
I've just realised what bothers me about Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Which is?
Okay.
Mary Jane Watson.
Yes. Oh my god.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
You
she's in
mean
it so much
beloved
you can't ignore
Kirsten
her.
Dunst? Wait, was
Fucking
that
hate
Kirsten
her.
Dunst?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
She's in it so much you can't ignore her, and I'm just like, I just want to see them fighting. Just give me the battle scenes.
Well,
Not only is she in it so much that you can't ignore her, but her personality's kind of vapid.
Also, let's not forget the beautiful meme that is them like swinging through the city on that beautiful green screen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who was
Iconic.
it? Who was it? One of you guys who's posted that thing for me with the shot of her hugging Spider-Man, but he's clearly a statue, not Tobey Maguire in the suit. And now
Probably
I can't
Adam.
unsee that in my mind. Like whenever I
Probably
watch that
Adam.
film, I'm just gonna see that still in my mind now.
Exactly. This is what I mean by it doesn't age well whatsoever because
I
of
feel
that
like-
fucking scene.
That one scene, yeah, but I feel like there's tons of scenes in both of those movies that age well.
I mean,
I
yes,
feel
there are
anyway.
scenes in it that work well, but overall,
I think I
It's-
disagree with you on this. I feel like most of the movies, besides the third one, the third one doesn't even age badly. It's just a bad movie. But
oh yeah,
even
let's
then,
not forget emo
even
Spider.
then, even then, Spider-Man 3 is much better than the Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2.
I'll be honest, I like the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, but they're not good Spider-Man movies.
Well, I mean, Andrew Garfield's a bro dude who rides a skateboard
Yeah.
everywhere. It's like, you're not Peter Parker. You're some
Yeah, he's
dude
too
who
cool for
rides a skateboard. You're just a guy in high school. You're not like the nerdy outcast or whatever. You're just a guy. That's what you are.
He tries to be nerdy, but he can't.
He can't. Exactly.
What?
He's
Yeah,
just too
yeah,
damn
he's-
sexy to be nerdy. Goddammit.
Exactly. That's the problem with him. And then like he's quippy as Spider-Man for all of 2 seconds, and then like I don't know, he just comes off as an ass after that.
You're not wrong.
I don't know. I just don't. And the other thing is, I can't watch that movie without thinking that he's also trying to help invent Facebook.
Yeah.
Because that's all I see right there when I'm
Yeah.
watching that. It's like I don't know how he was in The Social Network, and then somehow that's all I think of him now is The Social Network. Even though it's not like something like Daniel Radcliffe where he played Harry Potter for 8 movies, and then that's all I can think of him now. He played in 1 movie, and that's the only thing I can think of him as. Is the guy from The Social Network.
Acceptable. Yeah, I realized I was 16 when The Amazing Spider-Man came out.
Uh-huh.
And
Damn
that
kids.
makes a lot of sense as to why I like that movie. Because I was 16 and Andrew Garfield was in it.
Oh my
God
god.
damn, I'm so old, man. Those films. I was like in my mid-20s when that film came out.
You know what
That
else?
was 5
Or
years
late
ago.
20s. Yeah,
You know-
late 20s then, yeah.
You know what else Tobey Maguire Spider-Man did better?
Mhm.
The video games of the movie.
Never played those.
Oh my god,
I
you are
didn't buy
missing out.
them.
You know what the best part about those games is that Tobey Maguire himself agreed to do the voice for the video games, whereas
Oh my
the
God,
Andrew
that's-
Garfield Spider-Man video games, he was just like, nah, don't want to, and they got some other dude who doesn't sound anything like him, and it's just like, well, this is barely even The Amazing Spider-Man.
Best
Like-
Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2.
That's
Okay.
exactly right. Also, Bruce
I'll be
Campbell
honest,
was the narrator
I
for the whole
agree.
game.
That makes the games better.
Yeah.
Because you got the actual Spider-Man doing it. I don't know, I don't like Tobey Maguire as an actor anymore.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think I can name
Not
a
really
single movie he's ever
in
been in
anything,
besides
yeah?
Spider-Man.
I'm
sure he's been in something else, but I don't think anyone remembers.
Let's
I
play
think-
a game of how many movies he's been in the past 5 years.
He was in Seabiscuit.
Okay,
Oh
let's play this game.
yeah!
So the only film I know he was in
Right,
apart from
since-
Spider-Man.
I'm gonna guess he
Alright.
was in 3.
So since 2012, how
I'm
many
guessing
movies has
3.
he been in?
I'm
How
guessing
many?
3.
Yeah.
I'm
Since
gonna go
2012.
with. Wait, what year? I'm gonna
5
say
years
he's
ago.
been in. I'm gonna say he's been in like 15 films, but we just don't know any of them.
15 over the
Yeah,
past.
I'm going.
Do you know
Yeah,
how
I'm
long
going
it
high,
takes
man.
to make a movie?
He's gonna be recording back and forth endlessly. Hey, look, Tom Cruise is in like a million films, alright? Tobey
Right.
Maguire could do that.
I don't even think Tom Cruise has been in 15 movies in the past 5 years.
Alright, fine, Adam. Fine.
No,
He's
you've already
in
locked in your
one.
answers. You've locked in your
So
answer
got
at 15.
15, 5, Becky?
Well, here's the thing. Like, how much do you want to bet that a good chunk of those are all artsy fartsy movies that no one's heard of?
I've got it up on the screen, so give me a guess.
The smartest answer would be somewhere in between 3 and 15.
I'm just gonna throw out 5 as a random number.
Well, we have 2013, The Great Gatsby. 2015,
That.
Labor Day. Then
Alright.
Pawn Sacrifice. The Boss Baby, apparently, he's in it.
Oh yeah, I forgot
He's
he
in
did
the
a
Boss
voice.
Baby.
I forgot he
Is
did a
he?
voice in The Boss Baby.
I've seen that film. Who is he in that?
He produced a lot more movies since 2012 that he's been actually acting in.
Wow.
Ah, well, there you go. See, I was
He
obviously
produced
counting
Rock of
producing
Ages.
credits.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, and he's got a movie coming out to be announced, Blood on Snow,
Ooh.
and he's his directorial debut.
You know what I wish they did in Spider-Man Homecoming? I know since... I guess it's not really a spoiler since they talked about it before the movie was out, is that they don't really show they don't show Uncle Ben getting shot, which I'm really thankful for, because I don't think we need to see it a third time.
No, just like Batman's
No.
origin, we do not need to see it again.
Right, but for whatever reason, in not even Batman's movie, it was Batman versus Superman, they decided to do Batman's origin story, which
Yeah.
I
was
was just
stupid.
going to say they beat the hell out of Batman's origin story in Batman vs Superman.
Exactly, which is why I'm so glad Spider-Man Homecoming, we know what happens, we don't need to see it again. But I really wish at some point, if they ever decide to show anything about Uncle Ben, or even if they just had like a picture of Uncle Ben in like Spider-Man's apartment, that it's Tobey Maguire aged up with makeup. Just a little bit. Can you imagine Tobey Maguire as Uncle Ben, just as a little throwback?
To be quite fair, like
I know-
Aunt May is not exactly like she's not old in this movie.
Right. And she's like, I think Marissa Tomei is like 50 something, I think she's like 53. Tobey Maguire's 42. It's really easy to age somebody up by 10 years with like makeup.
Fun fact: if you Google Aunt May, the first picture that comes up is the comic book old lady, and followed by the really hot new Aunt May.
Yeah, and I get it. I get the new take. I'm fine with her. I think she's really good Aunt May, but I think my favorite Aunt May is always going to be the one from Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, the sweet old lady who's taking
I
care
miss the
of...
sweet old lady.
Yeah, she's a really
I thought
good Aunt
that-
May.
Yeah.
She's
I've got a
52, by the
question-
way. She does not look it.
I've got
She
a
what?
question for you on the topic of like filmic things moving into like mutants and stuff, because that's kind of what Spider-Man is. He's been bitten by it.
Apparently, she was in Civil. Wait, yeah, she was in Civil War. Never mind. I
She
thought
was
it
in the
was
Civil War. Jesus, she's older than we thought.
Maybe she's a time traveler.
No, I thought.
Oh,
I read. I was like, wait, she wasn't in Captain America movie. I was like, obviously, Civil War was a Captain America movie. You dumb idiot.
And can I just bring up a gripe I have with that before James gets into his thing?
Yeah.
That Civil War is an Avengers movie. It's not a Captain America movie. It really isn't.
Yeah.
It is an Avengers movie. And it, at the very least, that movie
However-
that movie also could have been called Iron Man 4 instead of Captain America 3.
However, when you think about it, like every Avenger besides Bucky, who's not an Avenger, Tony and the Captain, could be cut out of that movie, and it would be the same goddamn movie.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
technically a Captain America movie, or
Well, I mean,
an Iron Man movie.
Again, again, an Iron Man movie. It could have been that too, which was weird because I read like going into Spider-Man: Homecoming, which again, not really spoilers, but like I heard like they're like, oh, this could have been Iron Man 4, and I'm like, okay, so there's a lot of Iron Man, and then when I watch it, it's like, I don't think so. He's not in it as often as everybody makes it seem like he is. Yeah, he's in it, but he's not there as often.
He's in it quite a lot, but I think he's in it.
He's
Like-
still very much a supporting character.
He's still a supporting character, and he's like trying to be supportive in a way of like he should be supportive to. I gave this kid a literal weapon. I need to make sure he's okay, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Right. And so it makes sense that why he's in it. It's never like he's thrown in when he really shouldn't be.
Yeah. I mean, he could solve all the problems immediately, but whatever.
Right, but he's got other things he needs to do.
He's got Iron Man things to do.
What were you saying?
Can we
James?
just agree?
Oh,
Yeah, James.
yeah.
go on.
Sorry. Well, what were you? What were you saying?
It
Sorry.
sticks into the sort of same filmic thing, which is I love the X-Men films. I haven't seen like the Spider-Man stuff recently, but like I've been watching like X-Men, like the newish ones recently, and like what I like about them is that they say that mutants just evolve. And whenever I watch like have you guys ever heard of a magician called Dynamo?
No.
Okay, well, he's a magician, but he can do like really super impressive tricks just on the street. So like, there's a bit where he kind of just leans backwards and he slowly ends up like, so that his legs are like still standing flat on the floor, so his feet are flat on the floor, but his body is horizontal, which is super impressive. Like, I don't know how he does it, but it's super impressive, and I guess it's a trip. But part of me watched that and I'm like, man, X-Men said mutants would just evolve and we wouldn't know and they'd just be among us. This guy could be a mutant. And I just like, I every time I now start to see stuff like that, I'm like, my god, this could be X-Men. We could be living in it right now and not knowing it. And Spider-Man's the same sort of thing, because he's essentially a mutant. Like, he's been mutated by the spider that's...
Yeah.
We don't know there's not some dude who's had that happen to him in a nuclear power plant somewhere. He's walking around webbing stuff.
I mean, he is in the same universe as the X-Men, not the cinematic one, but the actual, like, Marvel stuff.
Like, comic books.
Right.
Yeah, I just like the thought that could happen a bit in real life. Not necessarily superheroes as such, but, like, the concept of that becoming a thing is fascinating to me.
Now, here's an important question, though. You said you like the X-Men movies. Which ones?
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. People complain about the Marvel timeline getting confusing, which it isn't. Besides maybe the fact that in the beginning of Spider-Man Homecoming, they're like 8 years later after the events of the first Avengers movie, which now I don't know was Avengers in 2012 or 2009. Anyway, regardless of that, people say that the Marvel timeline is confusing. The people who say that should really take a look at the X-Men timeline, because I have no idea what's happening.
Oh yeah,
anymore.
that's all over the shop.
I mean, let's not remember, X-Men First Class completely ruined the X-Men timeline.
Right.
When I say I like the X-Men films, I mean I like the cinematography of them, in the respect of I don't care about the timeline stuff, but I think each one got... They're not without their faults, because no film is, but they got progressively more watchable for me. Well, you had 1 was great, 2 was really good, 3, meh. Then they rebooted it with the Days of... Was that Days of Future Past?
First Class.
First Class was that one, wasn't it? The First Class.
Wait,
was
no, I
really
think
good.
First Class was.
It was First Class, Days of Future Past, and the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I think Days of Future Past is the thing that really reset it, though, because I think First Class just showed the origin story in the first place.
It was, yeah, pretty much.
And then Days of Future Past.
But that was still not
reset
correct, though. Like, I remember talking to someone, and they were saying that the Days of... Well, not Days of Future Past. First Class didn't, like, change some of the timeline for the origin story.
Gotcha.
So they started resetting with that, but I think, like, with the... Like, okay... It's a superhero thing. Like, the comics have so many multiverses, so many, like, different timelines. Whatever you do on screen, just make a good movie. It doesn't really matter if it's in with the timeline that much anymore.
Right.
That's why I like them, though, you see, because I think X-Men does that. Apart from maybe 3, which I happily admit is not necessarily the best.
I think a lot of people...
reboot ones are really enjoyable. I think each one got progressively better. But that's just my opinion, you know.
I think calling X-Men 3 meh is about as high praise as you can get, because many people just think that movie is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
It definitely doesn't stack up with the other 2 in terms of quality, but it's not horrific. If you want a popcorn movie, that's a popcorn movie.
No, it's that one. I can't watch this one.
Okay, if we're going to talk about popcorn movies, I have a thing I want to talk about here.
Go on.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
People hate Michael Bay so much, right?
They sure do.
And I don't get it. I don't see why people hate Michael Bay. Because people, I don't know, they're like, oh, he's not like... And I think it's a lot of, like, people who are into film and stuff like that. They think that he's like, oh, he's not good or whatever. He makes popcorn movies. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, so what if he makes popcorn movies? He makes popcorn movies really good. That's what he does best. And you can't deny that at least all of his movies are very well technically made. Like
But he's become his own meme, right?
The problem with Michael Bay is he
it's
no
now
longer
the
makes
thing that
movies for
everyone
the
hates
masses.
to hate him.
What do you mean?
He doesn't make popcorn movies anymore. He makes movies that would be do really well in China, which is what they did with the newest Transformers.
To be fair, I feel like that's a lot of the studio wants that though. I feel like the studio that's a studio thing because I know a bit about the industry and that they realized if the studio realizes you can make a shit ton of money by marketing towards China, then they're gonna do it because that's exactly it. So I don't know that that's necessarily his decision because I feel like that's a studio decision whenever that happens.
It's a time thing. Like now everybody likes to hate Michael Bay because it's the quote unquote cool thing to do, like to go, Michael Bay, blah blah blah.
It just makes explosions.
But you tell someone to watch Bad Boys and they will forget it's a Michael Bay film and they'll go, that is a great film because it is. But they won't care that it's Michael Bay because that was before he became the person that everyone should hate.
And
if you see what I mean.
Here's the thing.
He was decent at least, but then after so many movies, people were like, he's just doing the same thing over and over again. That's the kind of thing.
And I still completely respect that because he realizes people want to see. There are a lot of people out there, and I like movies ranging from all sorts of things, but I completely respect anybody who realizes people want to watch explosions and things destroying other things. And listen, Michael Bay's never going to win an Oscar for anything, but I think he realizes that, and he's like, well, this is what I do, and I do this really well, so I'm going to do it. Because there is an audience for it. People do want to watch it, regardless what a lot of people think. And I think he does that. I don't think people realize exactly how hard it is to make a movie. Like, let alone like a movie that's that big. And I don't know. I just respect him for that. It's like, yeah, he may not be like some artsy director making a like passion project with like super deep meaning, but he does what he does very well. So that's why I respect Michael Bay.
I wouldn't go around saying you respect Michael Bay, but that's your opinion and I respect that.
Okay.
No, I think you're right. He's like, he looks at what he does now and he's like, do you know what? If a studio's going to pay me $1 million or 20 million or whatever to make this film, and I can have a big ass Mack truck and I can look cool and like posing it and doing all this stuff, I'm gonna do it because god damn it, life is too short and I'm gonna have fun doing it. And listen, he does that's what he just does now. He just does what he wants to do for funsies, you know.
I'm not saying that you should never criticize Michael Bay either, because I get a lot of the criticisms against him and some of them I even agree with. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people hate him because it's a cool thing to do. It's like, oh, Michael Bay just makes explosion movies. But yeah. So I get it. I understand a lot of the criticisms, but
unpopular opinion, am I the only person who dislikes Michael Bay because I don't like explosion movies?
I think a lot of people
dislike Michael Bay. I don't think so.
Because they don't like explosion movies.
I don't like Michael Bay because I study film, so I can't watch a movie without hating on it.
If I'm going to watch a movie, I want to watch it for the story. Don't give me all this shit ton of stuff to distract my attention.
Well, right.
In that case, watch Arrival.
I heard that was really good. I still need to see it.
I watched it the other day, and my mind has been blown. Like, I literally, at the end of the movie, I was just kind of sat there, like, looking stupidly at the screen, like, what the fuck did I just watch? That was amazing. I need to watch it again.
Is it on Netflix?
I don't know.
Another question. How much trouble are we going to get in? Because I've just looked at the timestamp. We've spent 25 minutes talking about films, and Tim hates it when we talk about films.
Listen, I love talking about movies. He's not here, so I'm the host. This is what we're doing.
I just literally I was like, man, Tim listens to this back. He's going to be like, why films?
Back to the point from Becky, though, is I feel like I completely understand and respect the opinion, but at the same time, if you go into a Michael Bay movie, you should go into it knowing exactly what you're getting into. So
which is precisely why I actively avoid Michael Bay films.
Right, and I feel like that's what most people should do if they want to see a movie about story and plot. Then yes, absolutely avoid Michael Bay like he's the plague. But it's still extremely... I'm not saying you need to now go watch every Michael Bay movie just because I like him as a director for those reasons. I mean, I'm just saying that if you know what you want, and you want story, just don't go to a Michael Bay movie then.
The beauty
about Michael Bay movies, I'm going to speak about Transformers right now and the injustice it has given Megan Fox's character. Because I was talking to my flatmate today, and she was explaining to me how basically she's basically the hot girl that you can watch on screen while explosions are happening. However, she drives the story so much. She's like the perfect character for that movie. She knows about cars, she knows about like motorbikes and whatever. And she just gets like the writing makes her sound like she's like this really cool, like empowered character, and then all you see is her ass for half the movie. That's why I don't like Michael Bay.
Right, no, I get and I understand that criticism too, and I agree with that one. And I agree with that. I feel like a lot of his criticisms also come from people just don't want to watch mindless explosion movies for 3 hours. And that's another criticism about Michael Bay is that, dude, your movies are too long. You need to cut it back to like 90 minutes. Because I want to watch Transformers and I don't want to watch Shia LaBeouf on screen for an hour and a half. Just give me the Transformers fighting each other. That's all I'm here for.
Do you know what a lot of this boils down? Sorry, Becky, go on.
I don't even think Shia LaBeouf wants to watch himself on screen for an hour and a half.
To be
fair, Shia LaBeouf did have that movie showing where he watched every single movie he was ever in reverse chronological order with a bunch of people. So
he's so funny to me. Thank God, cracks me up. No, I think like the thing with media now in general, like games, movies, TV, is like you've got so much to choose from. If you're, say, like Becky, who doesn't want to watch sort of the constant explosions and no story, then you don't have to. There's so many other options for you out there.
That's my favorite thing about the internet at this point. There's so much you can watch, and like it's so. I'm again not easy but it's so much easier now than it was a long time ago to just. You can make a movie, like anybody can do it at this point. Like as long as you have the know-how and like the determination to do it, you can. It's not as hard. It's not like you need to go out and rent a camera and buy film and get professional studio recording equipment and all of that and spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like any cell phone nowadays is good enough as a movie camera as a camera at this point that you could go out and make a movie with that. And there are film festivals that are dedicated to just movies that were filmed with phones. So I feel like that's my favorite thing about the internet is if you want something, it's gonna be out there somewhere. Somebody has made something for you.
Yeah, I mean, like imagine if you can do an amazing movie with like a cell phone and no budget at all. Imagine what you could what the same person who's done that could do with an actual budget and actual cameras and an actual crew.
Well, right, and that's why I feel like a lot of people that's why I feel like there are a lot of people now who are getting into Hollywood, like getting jobs and stuff because of what they did on the internet. For example, I don't know how many if you guys have heard of him, but David F. Sandberg, he was the guy who directed Lights Out, and then he just did Annabelle Creations. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
I know the name. Nope. I know the name, but I would be lying if I said I knew who that was.
Now he just got it was announced today that he's going to be the one who's directing Shazam, which is like a DCEU movie. And pretty much the way he got discovered was he just entered a short horror contest on the internet, and even though he didn't win, his short went viral, and then somebody from Hollywood or whatever just called him up and asked if he wanted to make a movie, and that's how that happened. Obviously, that's like a Cinderella story, but it happens now. That's how it happens.
Becky, you were saying?
Well, it seems like in this day and age, if anybody wants to, get famous, it seems like the internet's the way to do it. Like speaking as somebody who wants to do acting, particularly voice acting, there's no more, waiting in cattle calls and stuff, although you're certainly welcome to do so. But it seems like the best way to get started is the internet.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that.
Such as the hit YouTube show Respawn,
which my character still has not shown up yet.
Just come on, Tim. We need to get on that. If you're listening,
I
I know you
know.
are.
This
Let's
is
get
not what
going.
I was hired to do. Help!
She's been here forever, and she's still not appeared once yet. We need to get her
It's,
going.
This
I
is
mean, at
not
this
in my
point-
contract.
Becky just needs to learn how to edit.
Yeah.
She's just like,
do
yeah, I don't
something
care about
around.
that anymore. We're done with Respawn. Hey, how do you know? How well do you know Premiere?
Huh?
No, this is how well do you know?
Hey,
Premiere?
Becky, this is the first podcast I've ever been on with you, and I know you like cosplay, so I have a cosplay question for you.
Let's hear it.
Alright. If you had, because I admire people who do cosplay because I have like zero artistic talent with that sort of thing. I'd never be happy with anything I attempted to make, so I just don't bother because I know I wouldn't be able to do it. But if you had an unlimited budget and unlimited resources and time, what is the ultimate cosplay you would want to do?
Oh my god, wow. Oh, that is a good question. I would either work on, it would have to be a tie between Doll from Black Butler Book of Circus or Satine from Moulin Rouge, which I was actually working on, Satine at the start of the year, but then my budget pretty much dried up when I started grad school.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yep. That happens to a lot of my projects. I will start something and then I'll be like, oh crap, I did not budget this very well at all.
Well, everything costs money.
Yep.
I find cosplaying fascinating because I'm like fascinated by it because I love the mixture of the passion and the workload that people put into that stuff. Like, for someone to build like an entire replica sort of Master Chief outfit or something and have it so it's fully mobile and looks good, and like the amount of effort and work that people put into all their cosplays is impressive to me. And I know I couldn't do it, and I'm always impressed by things I can't do. Yes. But yeah, no, I just it's something I ask most people I know who do cosplay, and was like, look, if you could do one, what would it be if you had no limitations? Because you get such an interesting range of answers. Like, some people are like, wow, I'd build the entire replica Diva outfit with a working pneumatic jump jet thing so I can hop in and out. And I'm like, wow, yeah, you really are. You're really spending that unlimited budget, aren't you? And then other people are like, I'd just buy a nice suit and look like a gangster or something. And I'm like, you're really not pushing the boat out much. So it's fascinating to sort of hear it.
Well, and that's really the thing too, is that's one of the nice things about closet cosplay is now that my budget is extremely limited, it doesn't cost a whole lot to do closet cosplay.
That's good. So, could you explain to us what closet cosplay is, just for people who...
Closet cosplay is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically you're constructing.
Oh, sorry.
You're constructing a recognizable character using stuff you find in your closet or stuff you'd find at the thrift store. Basically, it's a cosplay that's gonna be, I want to say, between 50 to 100% street clothes.
Gotcha. So
So
I mean,
half of Ruby characters.
Huh?
So half of Ruby characters then. Since they all just have street clothes. You can literally you could have bought the clothes online.
Right. Their
before the
school
show
outfits.
started.
Their school outfits are super easy to replicate. Actually, for Nandesukan in September, I think all of my outfits are going to be closet cosplays for that weekend.
Nice. See, I'm thinking of cosplaying for RTX London, so I'm just kind of looking into cosplay right now, and it's so much to do.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be cosplaying Sun from Ruby. So
Nice.
So I'm trying to figure a way to have the open shirt and yet do not have an open shirt, since he has no top underneath it, and I'm a woman. So that's gonna go well.
Right.
You could do it. It would be an interesting approach. You might not get into the con, but you could certainly do it.
I was just going to say, a lot of conventions are starting to get really, really strict on their dress codes.
Exactly, so I have to wear like a crop top underneath or something.
See, that leads me to the great other thought I always have about cosplay, which is somebody like, and I appreciate like she doesn't just do this, but it's the most famous and prolific cosplay artist, so I guess I have to drop her name in somewhere, but like Jessica Negri, When she does like the ones where she's like, "I'm Pikachu because I'm wearing a Pikachu bikini." I'm always like, does that cheapen cosplay? Because like,
No.
it's not really cosplay as such. You're just kind of wearing a bikini.
It's not really.
I've
I don't
done
know.
bikini cosplays before.
It's not. It's a different type of cosplay, but it's not wrong, is it? Like,
No.
No, I'm not saying it's wrong. I guess maybe I'm just because I'm not in that world. It confuses me. Like,
some people definitely
Yeah.
think it's cheap as cosplay, and they're doing it just to get views. And I'm like, they're absolutely doing it for the views. However, wouldn't she do the exact same if you were looking like her?
I see.
that's true. I mean, if I had her assets, I
both
would totally look like
sides.
that.
I see both sides to this. The only downside I see of this for the cosplay community is that it can sometimes encourage elitism, not necessarily among cosplayers, but among photographers. I know plenty of photographers in the community who don't want to shoot plus-sized cosplayers, or they don't want to shoot cosplayers, like female ones, that are under a certain bra size. So while it's not really bad for the cosplayers per se, or at least not from my perspective, if you want to get your work photographed, it might be.
You know,
That also
Okay.
brings up something in the community that I just recently realized, but that's a whole nother rant for a whole nother time.
I mean,
Alright.
you might as well just go on this rant unless anybody else had anything to talk about.
Sure. So in the not really just in the cosplay world, but in the modeling world, I'm what we would consider plus-sized. I'm a female who fits over a US size 12 to 14. Now, I belong to lots of plus-sized communities in the cosplay world, and last week I had a much, much bigger girl approach me on the internet and say, "You don't belong in this community. You have thin privilege.
Wow.
You're too skinny to be plus-sized." And I'm like, excuse me? I don't know whether I should be complimented or insulted.
I'll be honest, you're slightly smaller than me. Like, we're talking centimeters here, because I've just realized that 12 to 14 is 14 to 16 UK. And I would absolutely count myself as plus size. So, what the fuck is she talking about?
I'm like, I'm not sure whether this is the direction that the plus-size community is moving in, or if this is just someone who had a really shitty day and was taking it out on me. But it did make me think.
All this talk is making me now want to dress up in a Pikachu bikini and say I'm cosplaying as Pikachu.
Oh,
Do
so
it.
it's sub
How many
man.
subscribers do you think we should set that at?
Do it, man.
What are we on now? 144?
143.
143.
Oh, yeah.
145 then. Let's do that.
Losing
What?
people.
Hold on one second.
Since we're here, I did mention earlier today that I had an announcement. So here it is. So American Idol is coming back, and I'm going to audition.
That's awesome.
Really? That's awesome.
Yes, I auditioned once 6 years ago, didn't get in, but now that they're coming back, they have it where you can audition online, or you can.
Can you do
show up to
cosplay?
I might just do that.
Just because then you can just. Why not? It would set you apart.
Right.
Hey, Marta,
What's
because
up?
you're also English, is that the American equivalent of X Factor / Pop Idol?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I've never watched American Idol. I have no idea what it is.
It's another singing show.
Ah, fair enough.
At one point, it did have what's his face that made One Direction famous.
Oh, Simon Cowell.
Yeah, him. I think he did. They had him as a judge, and it didn't go well because apparently he's too strict on the American audiences.
I mean, that's
Honestly,
awesome, though.
I feel like he kind of got more tame as the seasons went on.
Yeah, he's boring now.
What
It's
was
sad.
the other thing he does? Was it America's Got Talent?
Yeah, he
or,
does Britain's
like,
Got
X
Talent.
Factor
So
or
he
something.
probably does America's Got Talent, I would guess, as well.
Let's see. I'm on his Wikipedia. We'll see. Idol
I
franchise, The X Factor, any of the Got Talents, other talent shows. He was on Celebrity Duets, apparently.
Okay.
Don't know what that is. But
No idea.
Did I ever tell the story of how I went to a taping of America's Got Talent?
No.
Let's hear
Okay.
it.
Okay, so it was a high school field trip actually, because I was in a multimedia class, and I guess our teacher wanted us to see how live television, I guess I would say in quotation marks, got filmed, and so we went, and it amazes me how much of like the audience reaction shots they use are fake. Basically they had a guy on stage before any of the stuff even happened. He's like, all right, since we only have a limited amount of cameras, we're gonna be doing a lot. We can't turn the cameras off the talent to focus on the audience reaction. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna stand up here and give you direction, and you're gonna react to what I say. So he's like, all right, now imagine like this, and it'd be like something horrifying, and you're supposed to react like that, and then they'd film at the whole audience. Or now imagine the funniest joke you've ever heard, or whatever. Now imagine this amazing thing happen, and like it would be people cheering about something inspirational, and it's like,
you're like, all right, now do the standing ovation. We might use that.
Yeah, that's actually what they do, is do a standing ovation. Now is that so? A lot of those
amazing,
you see,
all that stuff, yeah.
Even though a lot of the times the really good people do get standing ovations, a lot of the standing ovations are fake, that they just filmed beforehand.
I didn't know that. Like, I knew that some of the audience reactions were fake, because obviously they have a limited amount of cameras and whatnot, but I thought at least one camera would have stayed on the audience just to get feel of it.
I think they do have like one camera on them some of the time, because there's like 6 or 7 cameras, but I think that they do it just so they have, and I know this from editing, is you want to have as much coverage as possible. So no matter what, it's always good to have more footage than you actually need to use, because I've run into situations where I get footage and then I'm like, oh, I don't have this, and now I have to go back and refilm this scene. Oh, I don't have this. Oh, that's great. You just want to make sure all your bases are covered. But yeah, so I remember there was like that what was it? It was like that meme where the dude, it was like, I think it was America's Got Talent, and he was like super shocked or whatever. Does anyone remember that gif where it was like the dude with his like mouth wide open? Anyway, I imagine that's possibly fake, but you know. Anyway, another great.
I've been to Who Wants
Wait,
to Be a
is it the
Millionaire?
dude with the hair kind of like Kevin's?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just googled him.
I imagine that could be fake, because a lot of the times people, like, obviously since it was a school field trip, a lot of the people were like overreacting when they gave us direction just to like try and get on camera, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they call him the magic
have a
guy.
laugh, yeah.
They do have like a dress code though, that it's like, okay, since you're gonna be on camera, you have to wear like you could, like, to go on the field trip, you couldn't wear like shorts and a t-shirt. You had to wear like nicer clothes because you're gonna be on camera. They're like, we don't want like really like casual clothing on the on
yeah,
TV.
see, I've been to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire taping once.
Oh, how was that?
That was really interesting, because what you don't realise when that show's edited together is there's loads of gaps in the middle that they just cut out. So, like, when you watch that show, well, there's two things. Firstly, they have a dress code for the audience. You're not allowed to wear anything light, because when they dim the lights, they don't want the audience to be kind of seen in the background. So they were actually
you can't wear anything with like a copyright logo on it or anything.
Yeah. So like when we were being seated, like me and the girlfriend I was with at the time, because it's not my current wife, but we sat down and we were wearing dark, so we were fine. But they made like 2 people next to us literally move the opposite side of the arena, because they were like, no, you're going to be in camera shot and you're wearing a white t-shirt and we can't have you there because you'll just show up under the studio lights because of the way they were lined up. And I was like, huh, that's interesting, didn't know that. And then when the contestants sort of come out and they do that bit at the beginning, like the fastest finger or whatever it's called, when they do that and then the contestant wins and they obviously go and sit in the chair, they do that and that's fine, and you have all that bit live, and then they do their questions and you have all that happen, and then obviously they cut it occasionally where it's like, right, this is going to be an advert break, so let's stop here and you guys all look, all be quiet for like a minute while we just reset ready for coming back from the advert break and stuff. And then when that contestant loses, they obviously go because they've lost.
Right.
and they get the next one in, but the next one is in a green room that's like 20 minutes away from where the actual studio is. So what they do is they basically, Chris Tarrant, who does the British one at the time, he wandered off and just probably went back to his dressing room or something, and they had a comedian come out and just entertain us for 20 minutes while they got this guy from the green room. But obviously when you watch that on TV, he's like, here's our next contestant, and it cuts straight to them coming out, and like everyone's clapping and cheering, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of gaps in this filming. It's like, you don't think about you always just assume they're sort of standing in the wings waiting, but they're not. They're like 20 minutes away on the other side of the studio. And it was really weird. I was like, what a weird situation. You just don't, until you see it, you don't know it.
It is crazy to just see like stuff that you didn't realize. Another taping I went to, this was a college field trip. I went to, I don't know if any of you have ever seen the show, because it's honestly not that great of a show, but it was called Dr. Ken. If you guys have
heard of it.
No, never heard of it.
Yeah, it's like a sitcom. What's the guy's name? It's like
Ken Jeong.
Yeah, that guy.
Kim Jong-il?
Oh my god, it's that guy.
Yeah, and so he has a sitcom, or like, I don't know if he still does. It probably got canceled.
He's on the Gong Show now. They have him as a host.
Oh,
every couple of
yeah,
weeks.
yeah. I know.
He's
Yeah,
in
he
The
was
Hangover
in
too.
March.
Yeah.
Was he not in? He was in Hangover, right? As the guy they put in the trunk or something. I seem to remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
They cancelled the show this year.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting that to happen, because I mean it wasn't a terrible show, but like it wasn't as funny as a lot of other sitcoms. Which again, I don't necessarily think a ton of sitcoms like that are on right now are super funny. But anyway, it's interesting because we got to see them tape a whole episode pretty much of that. So I was in like the live studio audience, and a lot of the shows like they actually do have a live studio audience where it's like you just sit there and watch it, and they have microphones pointed at you for your reaction to it. That one was more of like they didn't really ask us to like, okay, now laugh. They didn't really do that. That one was more of like a genuine reaction.
It was more natural.
Yeah.
I know my
they
boss.
just need mics,
My boss went to see Big Bang Theory being filmed once when he was in LA. I guess that was. And he said that those guys went to get the right level of canned laughter. They tell a few jokes before they start the actual filming, and then they kind of figure out who in the audience has the sort of distinctive kind of laugh, and then they're like, right, we'll move a mic to this direction from him, so we pick up just that right amount of thing. And there's the woman with the kind of weird shrieky laugh. Let's mix her over there, and they kind of adjust all the mics above the audience to pick up, those sort of distinctive weird laughs you hear, as well as the general laughter.
Right.
He was like, they spent like 20 minutes adjusting mics over this audience trying to get it right.
It's funny because this kind of reminds me too. The first time I tried out for American Idol, they were in they came to Denver, and they had us line up like before, like, oh gosh, we must have been standing there since like 5:30 in the morning outside the stadium. When they finally let us towards the entrance of the stadium, they had us all stand in a big crowd and shout, "I'm the next American Idol!" And they had us do that like 6 times before they finally let us in. And then when we got into the stands, they're all like, okay, everybody in the audience, sitting in the stands, is going to sing River Deep, Mountain High. And we're just going to do that until we get a soundbite that we can use for the televised auditions.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff where they just make you do stuff over and over again.
Oh yeah,
because they need to get the thing, like they have to get it.
So also earlier this year too, I had auditioned for another reality show. I sent in an audition tape for America's Next Top Model because they eliminated the height requirement, and they've eliminated the age requirement, so I figured why the hell not? I don't think they've ever had a cosplayer on the show, so why not? I'm not allowed to mention who it is out of respect for them, but I had spoken with a former contestant who was on the show a long time ago, and she said, "You don't want to be on America's Next Top Model." Every time Tyra Banks walks in, they had to redo the take like 3 times, and so the producers would be like, "No, you need to get more excited. This is Tyra Banks."
She stopped being relevant like 10 years ago, though.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't matter, damn it. You have to respect her.
You have to respect the Tyra Banks.
Yeah. See, I couldn't be on those shows. I couldn't be on a reality show.
rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
Becky, can I just say, I have a lot of respect for you too, because I don't think I could ever like go up on stage for one of those shows and audition.
No, I agree.
For anything, I have terrible stage fright. Like, I can sit behind my computer and record whatever and do all that, but I cannot be on the stage with a bunch of people watching. So again, nothing but respect to anybody who even just puts themselves out there for that sort of thing. That's like, I couldn't do it.
I
feel like I take the show seriously. Like,
I have two problems with it. One, I would not be able to do the stage fright thing. Two, if I actually got through, like if you assume I somehow got through stage fright and did whatever it was that got me into, I went, you know, at the end when they get birth, like, oh, I'm so thankful for the opportunity, and it's like I would just be like, you're all assholes, and then I'd just walk off stage, and that would just not wash with like that production at all, and they would just kill me.
I
I'd
can't
never
say
be able to do it.
I do have terrible stage fright, but in the 4th grade, I did perform in my school's talent show, and what I did, me and my friend, we danced to the song Peanut Butter Jelly Time in giant banana costumes.
God. Adam, please tell me you recorded that.
In giant banana costumes in front of the entire school.
Oh my god, yes.
Is it recorded?
I don't know that it's recorded. I do think there might be a picture somewhere. I'll try and find it.
Alright, subs goal for that. The embarrassing picture of Adam for the...
Again, I don't know if I can. I will absolutely release it if I find it. I also have to ask my friend who was in it if he's okay with that.
Just blur his face out.
I could do that if he's not okay with it, but I don't know. I'll ask him. But if I do find the picture, I'll absolutely put it out there because that was. I mean, people were cheering, maybe laughing too. I don't know, but it was fun. I had a good time.
We had showed like photos from my childhood. All of mine are cool. Like they may be embarrassing, but they're really cool. I had the coolest childhood.
Brag about it.
I had a pet crow and I had a pet deer.
What?
So
you did have the coolest childhood.
Exactly.
What is this?
Oh, damn, we waited to this point to get the cool Marta story? Come on.
There is
Come on, Marta. Everybody left a half an hour ago.
We've got 6 minutes left in the podcast. 6 or 7.
On my Twitter, there is actually a photo of me with the pet crow. So, proof. And we had a pet deer because my uncle had a family, had a farm, and we used to go to our summer house, that was near it every single summer, and we used to stay over at the farm as well. And he found literally Bambi. There was a dead mother and the deer in the forest.
Oh no!
The deer, and we raised it, and it was so cute, but it was scared of everything.
Can I just say that I've always wanted a pet bear? If I could raise it from childhood, a newborn bear, and tragically its mother died. No, have you ever seen those stories?
Have you seen those people who take care of lions? They just end up getting mauled by lions.
No, but there's people with pet bears. They're oh yeah, we found its mother, or its mother died, and we found it alone, and we raised it, and it's just like a giant dog, and it's you just roll around and pet it a bunch.
It's not good for the bear, though, is it?
Well, it's better than just dying because its mother wasn't there to take care of it.
Yeah, but you're meant to raise it in a way that you're meant to get released back into the wild.
I think once you raise it, if it's domesticated, I don't think it can survive in the wild.
No, but there's ways of raising bears and other animals actually. Like the deer, it got released into the wild because we're not assholes.
Right.
And he could be like my bro. Nobody would ever rob my house. Say I leave the bear inside. It could go in the backyard too. The door's open, and then some burglar breaks in, and then bear bro is like, "Whoa, man, you better get out of here because I'm gonna kill you if you don't." That's the dream right there.
Bears. People have pet bears. You just moved to Texas and they have no laws about what counts as an actual pet you can have.
That's the thing I don't like about California. I always wanted
laws in general.
I wanted a pet owl, and then I found out that in California you can't have birds of prey as pets, and I'm like, God damn it,
I was raised in California, and I will tell you it's also illegal to own ferrets.
Really?
California has a lot of really strict laws about that sort of stuff, and it's
because it's why would you not be Imagine if everyone was allowed to have a pet bear, a pet lion, and a pet ferret.
Not
And
everybody
an
would
owl.
have it, but the people who want it would.
Yeah, but the people who
Listen.
want it, they're not necessarily the people that
Also,
should have them.
Well, that's
I
why you get a
believe-
license.
Yeah, I believe in California, if you do want an exotic bird, you have to have a special permit.
I think you have to have I think you can have an owl or like a falcon or hawk or whatever. I think you just have to have like a bird training license or something like that.
But isn't California
Right.
place like? Don't you guys film a lot of movies there? Like,
Yes.
assumingly there should be people there
Well,
who have
yeah,
pets,
there are.
owls and birds.
Here's the thing, though. California, you bring up an excellent point. California is not the film capital that it once was 60 years ago.
I mean,
No,
it's still
no, it's not.
absolutely.
So,
It is still absolutely the film capital, though.
not what it used to be.
It still
I
is,
have
though.
no idea where films are being filmed, so.
I mean, Hollywood is still the entertainment center of the world, but I will
That's where
agree
you
it's
go
not
to
as much
be a
as it is.
star.
Listen. Listen.
What?
It still is, but you can still. I mean, I agree that you can do pretty much anything from anywhere at this point, but
Right.
Well,
big
let's
movies are
be
still
realistic.
being made and produced in Hollywood. It's still
Let's-
to this day.
Let's be realistic. It's a place you go to be a star, and then you end up like in porn because nobody will hire you for an actual.
That's
You
Hollywood.
true.
can be a porn star. Still a
Here's the
star.
thing, though. People.
Well, it seems like if you want to do porn, Vegas seems more to be the place you'd go these days.
Nah, LA.
I like how much knowledge you have of that. That's brilliant.
People
From
like to
why-
come
Don't
to,
ask me how I know this
to-
stuff.
to LA to visit. There's not really a lot to do in Los Angeles.
This is true.
There's really
No.
not a lot here that you can
LA
just do
is
for
where you
fun.
try to go and fail auditions for commercials and then become a waitress / porn star. Is what the internet taught me.
I feel like I also went to New York and I didn't really feel like there was a lot to do there either. But
I mean, it's a city where people live. It's not like it's going to be surrounded
Yeah,
by tourist
right.
traps.
I mean, I
It's
feel
not
like there might.
going- It's not
Here's
like
the
you're
thing.
going to the mountains and be like, oh, I'll go to this skiing thing and then I'll go to the hot springs. It's a city.
Woman, you can do that in not necessarily in Los Angeles, but California in general. They
Yeah, but
pretty
it's
much
not.
have
It's not
everything here.
famous for that. People go and be like, "Oh, I need to see the stars on the boardwalk or whatever."
Well, yeah,
but that's
that's
just
that,
Right.
Like that just depends on your view of like holiday.
yeah. But then you go to then you go to Hollywood Boulevard, and then you realize that the streets smell like urine everywhere.
do.
There's weirdos just dressed up asking you to take, or they're like, "Oh, pay me $5 and you can take a picture with me." It's like you're in like some knockoff Spiderman costume. I don't want to take a picture with you.
They
Please
still
leave me
get
alone.
paid.
Right, they get paid, but it's just like he's just like some dude on the street.
However,
bringing it back full circle.
With-
It's Toby
he-
Maguire.
It's a dude on the street with a Spider-Man costume that's just different enough to avoid copyright infringement.
You tell me that if you had the option of standing around and getting photos taken with people in a Spider-Man costume and get paid for it, this being your full-time job, you wouldn't do it.
Maybe not on Hollywood Boulevard, no. Especially in the summer, it gets hot. It gets hot here. Also, the traffic in downtown LA is ridiculous. It's so slow.
But when you're Spider-Man, Adam, you just swing. You don't need to drive.
It would not survive. Spider-Man would not survive in LA. I'm pretty sure it doesn't
Here's
have
the
like
thing.
any high-rise buildings.
So,
No, it does, but it has like 4. And they're all
Exactly.
next to each other. And then LA is way more of like a big spread out area than people think it is. It like New York, it is very compact and it is very tall. They built up, not out. Los Angeles, there's about 6 tall buildings and then everything else is spread out. And that's what Los Angeles is.
What always interests me is because everything's so much bigger in America. Like I live in a small village where it's like 20 minutes to the nearest town, and there's just nothing here.
I don't
Like
know why
I
that
grew up in
sounded
a
really
village
funny to
where
me.
there's nothing to do. Like if you're below
I live
the
in a
age of
small
80,
village.
I do.
There are 6 people. We all know
No,
each
it's not
other by
that
name.
small.
so
It's not that small, but it is a. There can't be more than. Gosh, I don't know. It's probably less than 1,000 people live.
I
in this
often
village,
think that
easily.
that when I pull up to like stoplights and there's like a ton of cars in every direction, I'm like, this is more people than a lot of small cities have in one spot right here, just getting to work.
Yeah, for sure. Where your traffic jam is probably the equivalent population of my village.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
4 or
just
5's a
googled
mess.
the place where my parents live, which is where I lived for the past year. I moved to Sheffield now. Hey, we have just under 9,000 people, and the population keeps going down. So,
All right. Well, we are at the 1 hour mark right now. I think it's time we wrap it up. It was a very good podcast, I think. So thank you guys for joining me tonight.
Definitely.
great.
Yeah. So great to have you guys. I'm Adam.
I'm
You guys
Marta.
wanna- Guys, please.
And I'm Becky.
And I'm James. Please check out the streams on Thursday. Quick plug.
Yeah, that was a
and buy the
shit
poster.
show. We're just so you guys know, we are in the middle of a sub run. So at 200, 350, 1,000, all of that, we are doing special things for your entertainment. So please check that out. It's on the website, LimitedNight.com. And if you like the content, please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.